Global News is projecting a progressive conservative win this evening. Now, it is too close to call at this point. It's too early to say whether the PCs will be able to form a government. There are some very close races, and as we've been talking about, these are still very tight races across the province. And
then we talked about the John race. The Johns, this is the one, everybody on social media is loving this race. It's the one in Glace Bay Dominion, and we know John is leading. Let's find out which John. There we are. Glace Bay Dominion, it's John White leading. He's ahead of John, who's ahead of John. I kid, but how can you not kid when you've got 4 Johns essentially running in this riding?
Well, friends, let me begin tonight by reminding you of where we were just a couple of months ago. As recently as the end of May, the pollsters and the pundits, they had us back 28 points in the polls. It was going to be a historic Liberal landslide. As for those so-called experts, they were all writing us off. Well, I wonder what they're writing right now. Because make no mistake, tonight, together, we made history in this election. And not just here in Nova Scotia, but in all of Canada. We proved that just because there is a pandemic doesn't mean government gets a free pass. We proved tonight that accountability still matters, that ideas still matter, that solutions still matter. Because politics is not a sport. It's serious business. And everywhere in Nova Scotia, real people have real issues, and they are counting on us to solve them. Like a doctor shortage, an ambulance crisis, an underinvestment in our seniors, and regardless of what the polls may say, what we know is if you provide real solutions to people's real problems, then the voters will pay attention. And tonight, to all Nova Scotians, I recognize the weight of what happened tonight. You have now given us a mandate to govern. And tonight, I am proud to say, we are ready to govern.
And I want to thank Tim Houston, the leader of the PC party, and Gary Burrill, the leader of the NDP party. We debated the issues and the ideas that are important to Nova Scotians. We listened and we put forward our plans. We worked hard. We in the Liberal Party ran a positive campaign, and I'm proud of that. I would not have done anything differently. And to Tim, congratulations. I have said that it is such a privilege to be a Premier, and I know that you will feel the same way too. As politicians and as leaders, we are in this to serve Nova Scotians. You asked me on July 17th why we called this election. We called it because we believed that we were in a pivotal moment in our province's history, and we wanted to have a clear direction. Tonight, the voters provided it and chosen our future path. You could never make a mistake casting your ballot, and I respect that. I respect our democratic process. It gives us a chance every 4 years to have a voice, to ask for a change, and to judge us on our record and our ideas. But as Liberals, we need to find a way to make sure that every single Nova Scotian has a role. That's what we believe in as Liberals. And I will continue to lead this party. I will continue to do whatever I can do to fight for every single Nova Scotian to make sure that we have a voice, that every single Nova Scotian, no matter where you come from or your income level, no matter where you live, no matter your race, no matter what you believe in, your faith, your sexual orientation, you have a role in making sure that you have a voice in how we recover from this pandemic. We are leaders in this pandemic. We will be leaders in the recovery no matter who's in government.
All of our great friends. It's a campaign that has not from the start followed the script that our opponents expected and wanted. It was supposed to be a pretty sleepy, dozy affair where everybody kind of had their minds on nothing except the summer. And instead, we found that all those people that we have met on all those tens of thousands of doorsteps have been so engaged and so interested and so concerned. Concerns we've talked about with so many people about housing and about mental health and about the emergency of the climate, child care, long-term care, the path out of COVID towards recovery. And for 32 days, we in our party have placed these issues of real people's real lives at the center of the discourse of our campaign.
No, it isn't. And listen, you guys, I think, were too polite. That was a real low-class move by Iain Rankin to jump over Gary Burrill's speech. All of those rooms have TV monitors in them. They can see our show. They can see what's going on. And absolutely, if the outgoing Premier Rankin couldn't see the TV screen as aides could, and they should have said, hold up a second, Iain, because Gary's speaking. And Gary Burrill and the NDP, look, they ran a pretty decent campaign. I just had the Halifax results behind me, and look at that, a nice little solid lump of New Democrats in Halifax. They beat some Liberals tonight, and Gary Burrill, I think we wanted to hear from him and what he had to say, particularly about rent control, because as you know, Sarah, you know as well, Lori, that was a real big issue for folks in the biggest urban center in the province. Would have been nice to hear from Gary Burrill. So also, I think the Iain Rankin saying, I'm sticking around. I will continue as Liberal leader for the party. And I don't get the sense, I never got the sense during this campaign, I haven't been getting it all day since we learned of these polls closing. I don't think you guys have. There's no Paul Martin to Jean Chrétien. You know what I'm saying? There isn't somebody in the wings ready and waiting to go, saying, get out of the way, Rankin. I want to try my hand at this particular party. So I guess Iain Rankin will have a little bit of runway at least, but he will have to quickly show that even though he said he wants to support the government, whatever, he's the official opposition leader, and opposition leaders need to oppose government policy. That's the only way they can be effective. Their partisans will want them to do that, and so we'll see if he can switch and see what it's like looking right to the speaker instead of left to the speaker. Did you get that?